All right, we're being told that in the Nitish Katara murder case, the verdict is out. The Delhi High Court has gone on to reject the capital punishment. What they have said is that Vikas Yadav and Vishal Yadav will undergo 25 years rigorous imprisonment along with a 50 lakh fine. I have Mr. Hegre with us. Mr. Hegre, if you could just tell us and put into perspective what this really means for the Yadavs.
What this really means for the Yadavs is that otherwise, with a life sentence,
yes,
they could have, even if the life sentence had been upheld right all the way to the Supreme Court, they could have possibly have been free next year with a friendly government in place. But now they will have to spend at least 25 years. That's another 12 more years, because the incident happened in February 2002. So therefore, we are 13 years now. 12 more years to go.
Yes. Do stay with me, Mr. Hegre. I also have Deputy Editor Athir Khan, who's been following the case very closely with us on the phone line. Athir, this seems to be a sort of a setback for Neelam Katara, because out and out what they initially wanted was the death sentence for the Yadavs. Otherwise, they wanted a more rigorous life imprisonment for them.
Well, that's right. You see, the contention in the lower court was that it wasn't a case of rarest of rare murder. It doesn't fall in that category. However, she said it's a case of honor killing, and it should be considered in a special manner. In the Indian Penal Code, the provisions consider honor killing just like another murder. And this case being not the rarest of rare, therefore the lower court had ordered that they be given life imprisonment. Now, after the High Court had upheld this order, she had filed an application that on the quantum of punishment the court should reconsider and give him death, or the term should be increased. Now the court has pronounced its judgment. It says it's going to be 25 years along with 50 lakh rupees each fine to each cousin brothers, and also it will entail rigorous imprisonment in Tihar Jail. Vedika.
Also, if you could just take us through what really happened in court, the emotions, were they running high from both parts of the families really? I'm talking about the Yadavs here as well as Neelam Katara. What was her reaction like?
Well, that's right. Inside the courtroom, it was completely quiet when the judges came and they presided over the court. And since it seems to be a voluminous judgment, running into, it seems, for more than 500 pages, the judges first signed the judgment, and then the court had pronounced its order that it's going to be 25 years and along with 50 lakh rupees fine. Certainly Neelam Katara wasn't expecting that. She was expecting that they be given death sentence, but that did not happen. Now she will have to go through the judgment and make up her mind whether she wants to appeal against this order or not.
Athir, do stay with me. I still have Mr. Hegre with me in the studio. Mr. Hegre, what does this really mean for the Yadavs as well as Neelam Katara as far as the road ahead is concerned? Both of them can challenge this order.
Both of them are likely to go to the Supreme Court. And it is possible that the Supreme Court may just confirm what the High Court has said peremptorily. They say, okay, that's the decision, we are not going to interfere. However, if the Supreme Court says, no, we are going to look further into the matter, then that process will go on. But right now, I don't think that Neelam Katara should be disappointed. In fact, this is a major victory for her, because she has essentially ensured that her son's killers will not be coming out next year. They will have to spend at least another 12 more years. And by that time, they will be middle-aged men. We are not, their powerful father may not be around. So many things can happen in 12 more years. The other thing is that one should also be realistic. As I told you earlier, that where there is only one death, it's often unlikely that that there will be a death sentence.
Especially given the past.
And the moment you put in a death sentence, then automatically the matter goes to the Supreme Court, and then that process goes on. And so essentially, I think this is a fair judgment.
You would say it's a fair judgment?
I would say it's a fair judgment. That after all, that is the judicial function. You have to balance both the quantum of punishment which the victims want, as well as what is right in the facts of the case.
Right now, I'm sure Neelam Katara is going through an emotional moment again, Mr. Hegre. But let's just talk about what she spoke to us about earlier, about the delay in the judicial system, in the justice, which again seems to be a setback not only for her, but a lot of others who actually knock the doors of the courts.
That's true. See, the point is that Mrs. Katara, being a person like us, situate in Delhi, and with great public support, still had to take that long route through the courts, wait from adjournment to adjournment, and wait for her the final verdict. Very often, the victims are poor, their families are poorer, they do not have the wherewithal to continue pressurizing it, and delay is a known defense tactic on the other side. So, defense lawyers generally tend to prolong the situation in the hope that victims, the witnesses then are won over, or they change their mind, or their testimony becomes unreliable. This is where probably courts and prosecutors should start thinking about which cases to prosecute, how fast, because ultimately what also happens, what's clogging the courts is that all kinds of matters end up in the criminal courts.
Yes.
A check of yours bounces, that also goes to the same criminal court, and you have murder cases. There's only so much that the system can take. The prosecutors also should have a certain discretion where they prosecute the toughest of cases.
Yes.
And where there is a chance that they will get a conviction.
All right.
And other ones, they should persuade the accused to plead guilty for a lesser
Vikas Yadav and Vishal Yadav brothers will undergo a rigorous imprisonment of 25 years. That is a setback for the Yadav brothers. Well, we have to wait and watch to get Neelam Katara's reaction. Is she happy with this verdict? Is she going to wait, and is she going to go through the entire judgment before she perhaps knocks the door of the Supreme Court in this case? Well, only one person can answer that, and that is Nitish Katara's.